everyone. So if you watched my last video, you probably didn't, but it's okay. You would know that I was going through all my old sketchbooks in like deeper videos. I did a video where I looked through all my old sketchbooks a couple months ago, but it was kind of just like a quick overview. And so in these videos I kind of want to do a little bit more deep dive into like my characters and like the lore behind the sketchbooks, because I think that's fun and I really enjoy watching videos like that. So even if nobody else watches this, I probably will watch it myself, because I do like hearing myself talk. Anyway, this is my first ever sketchbook. So this was my first ever sketchbook. It's from 2017, so it's a long time ago. And yeah, I never had a sketchbook before this. I only just drew on like loose leaf paper or like notebooks, but never a sketchbook. So this is my first ever sketchbook. And so you can see this was a character named Millie, I guess. Most of these characters don't really exist anymore, but yeah. There's not really a lot going on in this one. We have One Day, a soul lost at sea. So if you've ever been my friend or know me, you would probably know about One Day, which is basically this Monster High fan fiction that I wrote in 5th grade about my OC Turquoise and how she's a part of the Twyla like boogeyman family where they all have superpowers. I know it sounds like insane. It was insane. And this was the second book in the series, A Soul Lost at Sea, where our main character Turquoise had died previously, but actually she didn't die. She got revived, and so she was lost at sea, and she had to make her way back home before her other evil sister tried to kill them all, or something like that. So this was the cover art for that. We have rabbits. This, sometimes a lot of my sketchbooks, there's like little things. So I think this is from my dad. Monster High. I wrote that. I drew this at the dentist. I do remember that. Chow Chow. A lot of these drawings are also my LPS. So Pretzel is my Valentine's Day dachshund. So that was her name, Pretzel. There's not a lot of art in this one, but it is interesting stuff. This was, I guess, something I was doing. Max. So you'll see Max and I think her name's Maria. And Max and Maria were from my side story. So basically, in all my stories that I had as a kid, they were all connected. So they all existed in the same universe, but they were all different stories. But they all intertwined, and there was pre-existing characters that would come back. A lot of times my favorite characters, the characters I really liked. Max and Maria were basically these two twins, and they get transported to the monster realm. And so basically they have to try to escape Monster High. Basically another Monster High fan fiction, okay? And there's also aliens in my stories. So there's always aliens and stuff. That's just like a thing that's known. And so at the end of the story, they get like one wish to come back or something, or they have to like wish to come back. I don't remember. But basically Maria wishes that, or Max or something, I think it's Maria, wishes that that they would go back, everything would go back to how it was supposed to be, is what like the words she says. And basically when they come back home, she realizes that Max doesn't exist, and the reason why is because she was like an alien and she had like crash landed on Earth. And so she basically brainwashed her parents and took the disguise as Maria, because they're twins. I don't know if I mentioned that. And they took the disguise as Maria, and that's why they're actually twins, is because she's basically a clone of Maria. I thought that was such an interesting twist, and it's an incredibly boring story. But this is that character Max, and this is Maria, and that's what those are from. Twirl Girl. This was a girl that I saw dancing at something I was at. A lot of these are just like funny things that me and my this is like a little comic I made. Interesting. I don't really know if it's funny, but you know, something. Oh, and then 2, you could see what, I just realized this. I forgot to do this. Every tab that's cornered is a 1 day. So anything that has a corner on it is 1 day. So this is all 1 day because that technically exists in the 1 day timeline. Billy and Twyla, because if you were a Monster High fan, you shipped Billy and Twyla, okay? They were like very, very popular, and I was obsessed with them. Absolutely obsessed. Now, my Billy, my personal Billy, is gay, and my personal Twyla is also gay, because I am Twyla. We're like the same person. She is me. This is more of that art. The Gub Go Gob Galab. So the Gub Go Gob Galab was really popular, I think, during this time, or maybe it was just popular in my household. So, we have the Gub Go Gob Galab dog. This is, a summary of that story that I was talking about with the twins. I'm not gonna read it, but if you wanted to, I guess you can. It's called My Twin. Oh yeah, see, here's, like, I was gonna write it in here. But it was, yeah. This one's upside down, but yeah. And we have, I believe this is supposed to be Turquoise. So Turquoise and Twyla are literally the exact same character. Not design, I mean, because the backstory behind Turquoise and Twyla is, so my grandma has a twin sister. We just call her my aunt, but they're twins, identical twins, and they'd both, for my birthday, unknowingly got me Twyla dolls. They just both did. So they both had got me a Twyla doll, and that was always kind of special because, like, how did they both accidentally get me a Twyla doll? So I made them twins to like honor that. So Turquoise is Twyla's identical twin, but for some reason in all the stories, Turquoise is younger, like a whole year younger. Don't know how that works. It doesn't make any sense. Headless Dog, Killer Butterfly. Then we have Reflection. So Reflection was another story of mine, which was based off of these LPS I had, and it was basically an alien story. So it was like the aliens were like represented the colors of the world, and so all the aliens, like, their job was basically just like exist to be that color, and if they died, then that color would just like be vanished from the world, and like nobody would remember it. It would basically just be like gone. Now that doesn't really make any sense because colors are actually like a concept, and like they don't like really exist because we kind of like made them up, like the color names. So like it doesn't really make any sense to how aliens would have like discovered that, but whatever. That was that story. So, oh, this is something I think I did for my school or something. And we have more, I would make like these plays because I didn't actually want to write out what was happening, so I'd make scripts. So this is some script for Reflection that I made. And one of the characters, Indigo and Max. So now we have 2 characters named Max. They are not the same character, but they're both named Max. You can tell I really liked that name at that time. Indigo is basically a Billy clone, and Max is basically a Twyla clone. We see I had a dynamic I really liked. But I really, really loved Indigo. I loved him so much because he was basically a Billy clone, and I loved Billy. Yeah, I was like obsessed. I was obsessed with them. This is my Warrior Cats OC. I was never actually into Warrior Cats, but all my friends were. So I made an OC. And we had a clan. This is embarrassing. I think those are jokes I wrote for something. I don't know what this is. This is something that I made, but I don't know what it means. That's something too. This is for Halloween, I think. And this is chance for something. I don't really know what. Another script. And this is more Halloween stuff. And yeah. And I don't know why I ever made Halloween stuff because I never like posted my art to anything. I didn't have any Instagram or anything. Or even if I did at the time. I think I did. I never really posted anything there. But that is my first ever sketchbook. And there's not a lot in it, but it is pretty fun to look at. Now, this video is kind of short, and I want my videos to be at least like 20 minutes long each for these sketchbook things, just because I just want to get them all in not like a billion parts. So I might do like 3 or 2. I don't know. We'll see how long this takes me. So this one is a year later. And this one I started my 6th grade year. It was either the beginning or ending of it. I don't remember. Oh, it must have been the beginning because it's November. And yeah, so this is actually a scrapbook, but I used it as a sketchbook, which is kind of funny because now my sketchbooks are used as scrapbooks. So, but anyway, this is the beginning. And who Barney is? Barney was this pencil topper that was an owl that I had. You can't see this because this sketchbook's really big, but it basically just says, "Don't copy my art style." As I really thought people were gonna be copying me. This sketchbook is also like low-key falling apart. So this is Kitty, and this is one of my OCs I had, and I do want to kind of redesign Kitty because she was very important to me, and she was like this cat girl, and I loved her, and she was like covered in tattoos, and she was the bad girl of the school, and I loved Kitty. She was so important to me. Oh my god, this one's gonna be so hard to show. Interesting. I might not be able to show those pages. We'll try. Oh my god, and everything's on this page. Okay, I have to like resituate everything. Okay, that's a little bit better. I have to be standing up, I guess. Oh my god. There we go. Not too much interesting art. You can see it's like the same art style as before. It's a little bit different. This sketchbook's really hard to show because it's so big. I was super proud of this. Really cool, guys. Really cool. There's some cool dragon art in here. So there's this one. You can kind of see it. Keep having notifications. It's like making me freak out. Oh, that's upside down, but you can see it. This one like doesn't really want to open either. Oh my gosh, it's like shaking everything. This is Persephone from Monster High. This is Minty, a character I had, and this is Alex, a character I had. Now she's actually a Venus clone, and she is a Maddie Hatter from Ever After High. I think that's her clone. Now, my original YouTube account was called Alaska LPS. Well, for that, it was actually called Sprinkle the Bears, but I was Alaska LPS for a really long time. So this was my LPS mascot I had. This is that same cat that died. So, now this is before the My Hero Academia fan art. So this is before that. So this is before I was ever really in a fandom. So that's why a lot of the characters are my own characters. This is a dragon I made. I still think this is kind of cool. You know, it's interesting. It was interesting. This is me, my like art Sona plus Magic, my cat at the time. This is some character I had. Sorry to sneeze. This is a comic I made. You can't really see it, but basically, this guy just gets rejected by this pretty dog girl. And then this other girl finds the note. Then we have this drawing. And I don't know why, for some reason in a lot of these I wrote descriptions. This is another dragon, and this one's even cooler than the other one. And this one I actually did for my class. So we had to create dragons for my class, and I still have it, and it's very huge, and it's this big paper dragon I made. And this was the thing, and it was all colored in Crayola, these Crayola markers. That was so difficult, I remember, because I wanted to make this big gradient, and it was so hard because I just kept running out of markers. I had to buy like 5 packs of those. 5 whole packs. I mean, they weren't that expensive, but like I didn't need that many. This is Indigo, and this is Max, I believe. That might be wrong, but I'm assuming it is. My depressed era. This is when my cat died. You can see I become depressed. And I would still use a lot of watercolor. Very depressed, guys. You're very depressed. Barney. This was also, I think I like lost my Barney, so I was also very sad about that. Double depression. They think this is supposed to be my teacher. Doesn't really look like her. And this is something I saw in a dream. But yeah, this was from 2018, 2019, so this is right before my Hero obsession, which is very interesting, because once we get into the My Hero art books, those are really something. Now, this is one of the My Hero art books. Now, there's a second one, but I actually don't know where it is. I'm not sure, but it's okay. This one has the most, I believe. I don't think the other one has less. I don't know. So there's 2 of these that I bought. I got 2 of these, like, Canson, these ones, whatever they're called. And this is what a lot of that My Hero fan art that I had. This is the sketchbooks that I used for it. So this is full of My Hero and stuff. And I would say this is probably like the worst of my art. It is just really bad, but it's also so good because it's so terrible. And this is also like peak fox obsession, so there's a lot of foxes in here. This is my cat. This is in May of 2019, so my cat was already dead. So this is like my dead cat stitched together. That's kind of like morbid. A lot of eyes, because I thought it was like really good at drawing eyes. I think this was the original, or maybe I did inspired and then I made this one. I think I was gonna make this a bookmark, because I would make bookmarks a lot of time for like my friends and stuff. And then this is more reflection stuff. So I was in peak reflection. Now reflection is actually a story I wrote for school too. Now I wasn't gonna write it for school, but I had this assignment where to write a story, like a made-up story. It was my public speaking class, and we would speak it in front of the class. And then she told us like the day before that it was actually supposed to be written on paper. So I actually wrote this whole story. Didn't even end up using it. And I wrote this entire other story, a ghost story, and people loved it. So, and it was a true story. Not really. I just thought I saw a ghost when I was a kid, but I don't actually think that's what it was. It was probably sleep paralysis. I have really bad sleep paralysis a lot. I still do sometimes when I'm really stressed out. Yeah, a lot of these are like sad, depressed foxes. Or Todoroki. A lot of Todoroki. Not a lot of Deku. Mocha, this was like a character that I had a really long time ago, and I guess I tried to bring her back. I'm more of the depressed fox. I don't know what's up with him. More depressed. I think this is supposed to be Momo, maybe? Ooh, that one's really, really interesting. So many of these cat Todorokis. There's so many of them. This is more. I think this is done in watercolor or something. Because I was basically in this class, and it was like a student government class or something. So it was like not a class about government, but a class about like students running the campus. But we didn't actually do any of that. The whole time we basically just did art. So that's where I got a lot of the watercolor drawings from. That's where actually all the watercolor drawings were done in that class. This is Elka and Barney. So this is that pencil I was talking about, the pencil topper. And this was like a character I made for the pencil topper. And her name was Elka, and she was like an elk or a deer girl or something. This is her again. That'd be kind of cool to bring them back. Does it look like a owl? No. But it was supposed to be. FFL. I don't actually know what that's supposed to mean. There was a lot of stories that I would write, and I would like make them these stupid abbreviations. Like there's a story that you'll see, I think you'll see art for it later. I definitely have art for it at my grandparents' house. So when I bring over that stuff and do a video on that, you'll see a lot of it, and it was called My Life as Me. It's actually uploaded to my YouTube now. It wasn't originally, or it was, but I took it down, and I re-uploaded it when I found the footage again, because everyone needs to see that glorious masterpiece. And it was called Malam, My Life as Me. I don't know what this one is. I couldn't tell you. I have absolutely no idea. And that's it. That's it for this. There is a second one, but there isn't a lot of stuff in the second one. That's probably why it's not with these ones. It's probably in a different bin. just because that's where all the, so this is the one, I had this one, and then I had the next one. The next one was the one where I took out all those pages and I had them all loose. So that's where that one came from, was one of these ones. The second one I had. But yeah, that's this video. I hope you enjoyed looking at these really bad sketchbooks. I always like looking at my sketchbooks and seeing how my art improved, because you can really get in your head a lot and think that you're a terrible artist, especially when you see other artists your age or other artists younger than you doing better than you, having more followers than you, having better art than you. But art is subjective, so in the end, nobody's good at art and everyone's also terrible at art. So I like to look at these and just think and look back and realize how far I've come, and like how much I've evolved, and how much I love my art now, and still love my old art too, even though it's really bad. It still holds a special place in my heart, and I really was so truly passionate when I made all these, and that's something that I really hold dearly, is that I've never made art just for other people. It's always been for myself, and that's something I'll always stand by and stay true to, is I'll never make art because someone else tells me to. Always just because I want to. But anyway, that's this video, and I'll see you in the next one when we go through some more sketchbooks, because I have like a lot still to go through.